I have a cousin who's been through a lot of difficult times with her father, my uncle, and she gave me a stack of books. She said, these are great books. Well, Nancy, naive here, said, great, I'll read these while I'm taking care of Mom. Not happening. So even though I was referred to a lot of very valuable books, I didn't really start reading them until after I had Mom placed and Dad placed, and then frankly after Dad passed away. And you know, again, several of you are in the early stages of some of these brain diseases, and I again applaud you for being forward thinking, because you know, had I known then what I came to learn, I would have taken an easier route for me. Because if it was easier for me, it would have been a lot easier for them. So this is a very important book to get. I'm going to hit you with a reality statement here. I want you to learn, please, to balance through boundaries. I never understood boundaries. I didn't even know you could make boundaries in your life about where people could go. I don't mean physical boundaries, I mean emotional boundaries. This gentleman introduced me to the concept a few years ago, boundaries. That's just not acceptable. I don't hurt their feelings. Well, they just walked all over you, didn't they? Okay. You have to determine that there are things that are not acceptable, and part of your boundaries are, there is going to be Lori time, there is going to be Ralph time, there is going to be Toby time, okay, there is Dawn time. And I really do mean this, and I know this is not easy to do. I know this is not easy to do. Get a network of friends. I don't care if you have 2 friends or if you have 10 friends. Ask them, how many in the room so far? If anybody's ever said, is there anything I can do to help you? Anybody ask you that? Yes, there is. As a matter of fact, on Tuesday the 19th, I'm getting my hair cut, and if you could come over and just visit, blah, 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 it would be great. Could you figure out what your loved one likes to do? Play cards, read a book, talk about movies, gossip, whatever it is. When I needed to get away, not from necessarily my own personal pleasure, but if I absolutely had to do something, I was blessed because my cousin lived fairly close, and she would come, and my mom enjoyed it very much, and she would come and she would bring movies, DVDs. Oh, and Shirley, I got a DVD, we're going to watch. I thought, my mother is not going to watch that story. I just, Mom, watch that story, I had the best time. Nancy and I watched such and such. Great. It really does work. So I would encourage you to get a little calendar. You can print it offline or just take your little calendar page. Where are the dates that are important to you? Ralph, what do you like to do?
I play golf.
Go. You may find that leaving your wife is not easy right now.
Actually, she encourages me.
This is good, and I hope you're going. Because you will reach a point, sadly, where that won't be as easy to do. And what you may want to think about doing now is, if she has some friends and you say, I'm going to go golf, would it be comfortable, convenient for you to stop by? What's your wife's first name?
Louise.
Would it be comfortable for you to stop by and visit with Louise for maybe half an hour, an hour today, or next Tuesday? I'm going golfing, and I think Louise is doing all right, but I could really enjoy my game more if I knew somebody was there. You don't have to stay for the whole time. And then just build your calendar. Believe me when I tell you, everything will be easier for you to do it. You know, when someone has a health issue in their family or someone passes away, what is the first thing we always do? What can I do to help? They all say nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time to call in the brigade. Okay?
It's a good suggestion because my wife, I noticed that she's isolating herself from friends.
Yes.
She doesn't call friends like she used to.
That's right.
She enjoys when we go out to dinner with friends. It's fine if I make all the arrangements and
Right.
But it's not like she makes the call to have somebody to have.
Correct. And part of why, I'm going to jump to that point, Ralph, part of why she doesn't do it, you mentioned that your wife is in denial. Well, who wouldn't be? most people don't say, oh goody, I've just been officially diagnosed with dementia or Alzheimer's. Come on, they don't. I sort of think this is a disease of the brain is comparable to when 25 and 30 years ago people were really starting to talk about they were afflicted by cancer. And if you can think back to that time, it was not unusual for the reaction to that to be you drifted away from that person as if it was contagious. I mean, we really knew in our heart of hearts that it wasn't contagious, but maybe it was. And we left a lot of people stranded. Here's one of the reasons that people become distant and isolated. They're devastated. They aren't quite sure if they can trust their mind to be current with their friends or their family. Then what you will see is the friends creeping away. And if the friends are in your age bracket or your father's age bracket or mother's age bracket, or wife, husband, it's their fear that, oh my God, if Louise is that age and she has this, and I'm that age, oh my God, is it likely that I'm going to end up this way? Okay? The other aspect is, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Well, heavens, she doesn't have polka dots on her skin. She just has a little brain fade. You don't have to do anything, just be her friend. And something I strongly recommend you do is have a heart-to-heart with the people that you are closest to and say, look, this is not contagious. And this is something that I say to people, you know, this is not contagious. You aren't going to get it from drinking at our house, a cup of coffee, or talking or breathing this air. But you are going to break my heart if you can't still be my friend. And a true friend will get it, and they will be there for you. You are not asking them to come over and take on the mountain with you. But you need their friendship, and your wife and your father and your mother need that friendship. Sure.
Is it hereditary? I understand it is.
They haven't completely determined that. There are certain, I do know this from the clinician, a research clinician here in the desert, there are certain types of Alzheimer's that they can do a study and show if there is a genetic crack. But not all Alzheimer's is going to be genetic.
And how about dementia?
No, not necessarily at all. What I wanted to talk about, balancing your boundaries and setting up a game plan, this is a real fact. And the number just changed in the last 2 years from 67 to 70%. This is real. 70% of the caregivers, that's you, succumb, that's die before their loved ones.